What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, we are going to be trying out the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundations. So I did pick up two shades. I have 30 medium warm and 33 medium warm. Also, e.l.f. did release a new shade or two of their plumping gloss. This is in the shade Petal Pressed, which is more of like that rosy, like beige tone. What I noticed, I did pick up, because they supposedly repackaged the old shades. However, they did not. The newer packaging is a lot smaller than the old packaging. But anywho, these are a really good plumping gloss. I don't feel like necessarily that long lasting burning sensation or nothing like that. So I personally really like their glosses. So also in today's video, this is going to be a wear test. Now I know that I wanted to focus mainly on the foundation. However, I finally got my hands on the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. This is supposed to be 36-hour wear. We're not going to have it on that long, but this has definitely been hard to come by. I will have it linked down below. I did find it on TikTok Shop because someone else posted a video. So this, along with the foundation, is going to be put to the test. Also, e.l.f. did release a new eyeshadow primer. This is the Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. And upon opening it, the color of this kind of reminds me of like the Urban Decay like primer potion. I don't know if you guys, if it will focus. If you could kind of see, this is what the applicator looks like. So I want to test this out, but I don't. You know what? I might test it out. I just might not go so dramatic on the eyes, since the main focus I want to be is on the foundation. But before we jump into today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this first impressions / wear test. Alright, you guys, so starting off with the Lock It Down eyeshadow primer by e.l.f. This retails for $7. So per the details on e.l.f.'s website, this is a sheer creamy eyeshadow primer that helps lock down your look and intensifies the color of your favorite shadows. It says this is smooth, creamy for long-lasting wear, intensifies favorite liquid or powder eyeshadow colors for a bolder look, helps prevent smudging and creasing. Sheer finish creates the perfect base for a wide range of eye looks, and it also states that it is a non-greasy filling. So those are pretty much the claims. Again, when you blend this out, it kind of puts me in the mindset of like Urban Decay primer potion. Also, the texture and consistency of this is sort of similar to the Milani's eyeshadow primer. And you guys, if I sound like I'm outside or whatever, I have this fan blasting, so I do apologize. But I don't like being hot. So if you hear that, I'm really, really sorry. Also, what I am going to do, I decided to put like some translucent powder on the lid. Now, I don't know if that kind of messed it up, but I just felt like I needed to set the lid. Like, even though it said it was a non-greasy formula, I just didn't like how it felt on the eyelids. And I do have oily eyelids. So yes, those are just my thoughts. But we're going to go in with this Morphe X Maddie Ziegler eyeshadow palette. And I'm just going to kind of create something very simple on the eyes. What I will say, and I will mention it to you guys, I felt like with this eyeshadow primer, when you start to pack up a color a lot, I felt honestly that it was sort of peeling and separating on the lids. I will try this eyeshadow primer out one more time without setting it and see how that works. If I still have that same issue, like, and you will see once my eyeshadow look is complete, the shade that I put on the center of the lid, it kind of looks like it's fading or separating. And I definitely, you know, made sure to blend everything. And I didn't notice it until after filming. I was like, whoa. So I love that I kept that in for you guys, because you know, sometimes, you know, when we record these videos, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna scrap that whole video and redo it. But I felt like if we're testing out an eyeshadow primer, that is why, you know, that's the point, to show how the look comes out. So it was mainly in the center of my lids that I felt like the eyeshadow just wasn't, it wasn't staying and it wasn't placed correctly. So like I mentioned, I will try the primer again without setting it, and I will do that again on camera just to see how we feel about it. If I still have those same issues, then it's definitely a no for me. But so far right now, it's just okay. It's not something right now that I feel like I would repurchase, even though it's very affordable. All right, you guys. First of all, I think this came out kind of cute. Anywho, I wanted to share with you all. I mentioned on my, what is it called? Community tab here on YouTube. I went inside of Sephora in the Kohl's, and they had up to 50% off of certain one size products in Give Beauty, which is Gwen Stefani's. I picked up medium dark 1 in the one size foundation. So I have medium dark 2, but if you guys been like watching me for a little bit, I've been mentioning that I feel like a lot of my older foundations were like when I was outside kicking it and just sitting in the sun, literally. So I feel like a lot of my go-tos are not my shade anymore. I also did pick up the Born This Way matte foundation, so I really do like the matte, but this was another situation where the shade that I had just looked a little bit too dark, so I grabbed the shade Sand. I initially had Praline, which I think is maybe 2 shades deeper than this one. So I was like, girl, what are you doing? So I just picked those up today from Sephora. But again, the focus of today's video is the new e.l.f. soft focus, or what is it called, soft glam satin foundations. I'm just gonna curl my lashes. I wanted to do some color on the eyes today because I am personally kind of getting tired of just doing brown and neutral tones, but I really don't want to put on any lashes. So I curled the lashes, and this is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise waterproof mascara. So I'm just going to put this on. This is my first time trying this one out, and it is in this like blue packaging. I do have the Fenty mascara and I love it. I don't know if it's waterproof or not, but that one I love. I also love the One Size mascara. I will say I did like how Huda Beauty's mascara looked on me, but I feel like Huda Beauty's mascara flakes after a few hours. I felt like it left like those mascara crumbs on my face after wearing it for so long. So I did end up decluttering that one. So now for primer, I'm going to go in the T-zone with one side, secure the sweat. Maybe around the perimeter of my face, I'm going to add the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. And the reason is, I know it seems like, oh my God, you're using all these matte products. But you guys, to be very honest, I love the whole dewy, glowy look. But lately, I feel like that's what a lot of my makeup looks have been looking like. And honestly, it hasn't looked good on my skin after so long. So I really want to secure this makeup on my face. I love the whole glowy girl look, but your girl is oily and it just doesn't mesh well. So as I mentioned, I'm going to take a little bit of that milk around the perimeter of my face. I feel like this formula of the milk is a little bit easier to kind of work with and play with on the skin, as opposed to like the one size. You have to really be particular with how you blend that in. But we are going to let this primer sit for a few minutes. Then we'll come back and get into the foundation. I'll swatch both shades just to kind of see which ones maybe we should go with, or which one we should go with. And then we'll go from there. All right, you guys. Let me go ahead and swatch them first. So the first shade I am swatching and blending in is 30. I don't know why I'm never prepared to wipe stuff off. Where's 33? Oh, 33. So I haven't finished her video yet, but I was watching Babs Beauty. She had already reviewed this. I love Babs Beauty, but she mentioned how other than on the back where there's the sticker, it doesn't really show you the shade name. So you have to really be careful when pulling off the little tag on the back where it says peel. You have to be careful in order to leave the sticker on the back that shows you, come on and focus, that shows you the shade number. So let's go in. This first shade right here is 30 and this is 33. Okay, 30 and 33. I'm gonna do 30. I feel like 33, even though it says warm, I feel like it looks a little bit peachy in a sense. So let me go ahead and apply this on the skin. I'll do one side a brush, the other side a sponge, and I'll give you all the information about this new foundation. All right, you guys, so this is the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This retails for $8. It does come in 36 shades. So as I mentioned, I have shades 30 medium warm and 33 medium warm. So this is, per e.l.f.'s website, a long-lasting hydrating liquid foundation that delivers just right medium buildable coverage and a satin finish. Long-lasting foundation, okay? Breathable formula, doesn't look or feel cakey. Infused with 1% hydrating hibiscus complex plus pomegranate, blueberry, and is it koji berry extracts, non-comedogenic, which means it won't clog the pores. And yeah, it is great for dry, oily, and combination skin. So again, I opted to go with shade 30 medium warm. Looking at it now, when you're looking at yourself in the camera and you're under the lights, you don't really see it how you do when you're not. I feel like this shade is cool. It matches my face perfectly, but not necessarily. It's a little bit lighter than my neck. So the next time that I try this foundation out, I will go ahead and use shade 33 medium warm. What I did notice, I don't like how it looked blended out with the sponge. We all know that using a sponge can potentially give you more sheer coverage. It's not as built up, and you know, it's not that medium coverage that I felt like I got with using the brush. So after I blended out the other side with the sponge, I decided to go back over it. I applied more product and went over it with the same brush. But I'm kind of happy with the shades that I chose. Initially, I think I was going to get like shade 40, what was it? I think it was like 40 tan warm. And just kind of thinking about the two shades that I have now, I felt like that would have been a little bit too dark. So as you can see here, just me blending it out with the sponge, it didn't give me that coverage that I was looking for. But overall, first impressions, it is a nice foundation. I just definitely, the fact that it is a hydrating, it claims to be hydrating with this satin finish. I truly had to make sure that I went in with mattifying products, because that is what I would do anyway if I were to wear this foundation on its own. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I have not really been liking how my complexion has been looking lately, because I feel like a lot of my makeup has been looking very glowy and dewy, and it just doesn't last too long or too good on us with oily skin. Wow. Wow. So for concealers, I'm going to let these sit for a little bit. I forgot to put some down the bridge of my nose, but I'm just going to put a little dollop of Daisy. I mixed shade 320 Warm Honey from the Kiss Full Coverage Concealer. And then I used the Quickie Concealer from Urban Decay in the shade 50 WY. So I'm going to let those sit for a little bit and then blend those out. For powders, I am going to set the concealer immediately after with my MAC Studio Fix in the shade C3. And then I'm going to go over with loose powder. This is from H&B Cosmetics. This is their Soft Focus Loose Powder in shade number 2 Translucent. H&B just had a huge, like, I want to say it was almost 50% off sale. I love their concealers. Their concealer is full coverage. I did end up picking up a backup of the concealer, and I picked up 2 shades of their matte. They're like silky matte foundation. So I'm excited for that because as I mentioned, I have just been feeling like I'm a true matte girl, and I have not been getting that lately from my makeup. And I understand that a lot of people are not going for that full coverage true matte like we used to. But I need a little bit more. I do. With me being oily, like I mentioned, I'm all for, you know, my skin but better. But yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more coverage. So I'm just going to blend this out with a brush. And then I will fix it and clean it up with my foundation brush. Just so that it looks more cohesive. All right, you guys. So far, this is what the makeup is looking like. What I will say is everything looks good. It doesn't, maybe because I set everything down, it doesn't feel sticky on the face. I really like, we forgot to use the L'Oreal setting spray. So this L'Oreal Infallible, this is the 3-second setting mist, supposed to be 36-hour wear. This setting mist states that it is a setting spray that makes your makeup defy transfer, locks in makeup up to 36 hours, waterproof, sweat resistant, clothes resistant, foam resistant, smudge resistant. So let's see. How do you... Ooh, hold on. Wait a second. My eye is running. Okay. All right, y'all. You guys, I'm sorry about that. My light is dying, so I gotta hurry up. So as far as I'm concerned, first impressions, this looks good. For the lips today, all I did was use the Makeup Forever in this cacao, which is that more taupey color lip liner. And then I used the e.l.f. Plumping Lip Gloss in Peach Bellini. So that is all that is on the lips today. As far as the eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be very honest. I feel like it's okay, but I do feel like I noticed some, you know how like your eyeshadow kind of crumbles a little bit depending on the eyeshadow primer? That is what I noticed when going back in and placing like that lighter shade in the inner corner. So I don't really know how I feel about that. I will see throughout the rest of today how the eyeshadow holds up, because I do have oily lids as well. But as far as the face, the complexion, everything looks good right now. I'm excited to see how this wears throughout the rest of today. I will have this on until about 11:30 tonight. And then I will give you guys like that final clip and pretty much my final check-in, my final thoughts. Also, we are putting to the test this L'Oreal setting spray. So I'm excited to see how these two pair. Because this is a satin finish foundation, it does not claim to be, it actually states like it's hydrating. It has some hydrating properties in it. So it's not matte, meaning I don't want it to slip and slide on my face. It is 85 degrees outside. I need something that is going to lock in. And I also like to do my foundations how I would with any of my other products. That's just how I do my wear test. But again, like I mentioned, I want to really test out this L'Oreal setting spray. I will say that I like the mister on that better than the one-on-one size. But I don't know. It's weird. And I'll explain it more towards the end once we kind of do, you know, complete the wear test. But again, this is what everything is looking like. And for the foundation, I did, again, use shade 30 medium warm with the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and go about my day. As I mentioned, it's already 4 o'clock. Not much that I'm going to probably do, but we will see how everything holds up. I'm also going to insert a clip here of just in natural lighting, just so you guys can see what it looks like outside of the lights. And yeah, let's go about our day with this wear test. All right, you guys, it has been 7.5 hours. I'm tired. I have literally been up since maybe 5 o'clock this morning. So yeah, she's ready for bed. However, what I will say, I do have a clip of like a midday check-in that I'm going to insert here. What I will say, the eyeshadow primer, again, is a no for me. I have other eyeshadow primers that I feel like the center shade that I used would have still stood out by this point. So, unfortunately, because these products were purchased on e.l.f.'s website, I'm not going to go through the hassle of sending them back to return them. So that was a waste of $7. I mean, what's $7? But as far as the eyeshadow primer, that's not something that I would repurchase or use again for that matter. When it comes to the foundation, from afar it looks good. However, I personally, like this shine that's peeking through here, that's not an issue for me. It's when I zoom in on the skin and you can see. So you mainly see my blush still kind of peeking through. You see my veins visibly showing here. So this is one of those foundations that fades away over time. I feel like this foundation is just not for us oily combo skin girls. I feel like this may be a foundation if you just want to look put together to go run some errands for a few hours. and then you're coming back in the house, this may be a go-to. This may even be something that you're just wearing it to go to work and you're coming straight home. Because clearly if this is like 7.5 hours later, this is pretty much when you would be getting off work, right? 30 more minutes, you're off work, you're going home. So I feel like that is the vibe of this foundation. Now, again, this foundation doesn't claim to last any amount of hours. However, this just wouldn't be for me. I like full coverage. I like long wear because of my skin type, and that is not the vibe that I get from this one. So this would not be a foundation that I would repurchase. I don't know how often I would reach for it. As far as I'm concerned, in today's video, the only thing that I would really recommend is the L'Oreal Infallible setting spray. Again, if you don't have oily skin, I say give the foundation by e.l.f. a try. It's worth it for only $8, but it's not a long-lasting foundation in my opinion. And as you can see through my wear test, it's not, you know, the greatest long-lasting foundation. So that's just personally my take. But that is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay safe and be blessed. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.